Today, I'm excited to introduce Vijil Diamond, which is an agent that audits your agent, just like Cameron mentioned. So again, for context, a while back, we responded to an RFP put out by Near AI, where they outlined the need for a mechanism to audit agents before they're activated on the platform in order to ensure these agents are secure, robust, trustworthy, and to help developers address issues through clear mitigations. As many of you know, with the new shade agent paradigm, we're moving toward a world where autonomous agents are granted real permissions to perform sensitive operations. That shift makes a trusted audit layer not just valuable, but essential. So Vigil's response to that need is Diamond. And today, I'll walk you through what it is, how it works, and why it matters. And at the end, I'll show you a demo of Diamond in action. So, a little bit about Vijil. Vijil was founded in 2023 by engineers who built the deep learning platform behind Amazon SageMaker. The motivation was clear. Autonomous agents were no longer theoretical, they were starting to show up in production. But the risks that came with that, especially around security and control, were far too serious to ignore. There was a clear need for a trust layer, something that could evaluate whether an agent is behaving the way it should and help fix it when it's not. Vijil was created to bring enterprise-grade trust to this new category of software. At the core of that effort is defining what trust actually means. For us, it comes down to measurable properties, trust dimensions like safety, reliability, security, and compliance with policies. These are the foundations of how we evaluate agents. To test these properties, we've built in both red teaming and blue teaming strategies. On the red team side, we simulate attacks and adversarial inputs to probe for vulnerabilities. On the blue team side, we provide active defense, monitoring agent behavior in real time and enforcing constraints and containing risks if something does go wrong. And beyond testing, our aim is to transform ordinary agents into trusted agents through continuous evaluation, clear trust reports, and actionable feedback that supports improvements over time. So just a little bit about me and why I'm here. So I'm a senior applied scientist at Vijil, where I lead the privacy pillar of our trustworthy AI work, focusing on security, confidentiality, and integrity in autonomous agents, even under adversarial conditions. I hold a Master's of Applied Science in Privacy Preserving Machine Learning from the University of Toronto, where I focused on secure computation and applied cryptography and machine learning. Professionally, over the past 6 years, I've worked at the intersection of privacy robustness and secure enterprise deployment of machine learning systems. And I've done some academic work as well, publishing research on encrypted RNNs using fully homomorphic encryption, including 2 recent papers in the field. So why am I here? My work in secure computation, applied cryptography, and encrypted inference has always aimed to ensure that models operate securely. But over time, I came to see that privacy is just one part of a broader trust landscape. These systems are non-deterministic, which means their behavior under real-world scenarios matters just as much as how securely they handle data. That perspective led me to expand my focus, still grounded in privacy, but now also addressing the other essential dimensions of trust, such as, like we mentioned before, robustness, safety, and behavioral integrity. It's about making sure we can trust not only how a model is built or how it runs, but also how it behaves. And so, what is Vijil Diamond? Diamond is an autonomous auditor agent designed to evaluate other agents across 3 key dimensions: behavior, code, and runtime activity. It begins with blackbox testing to assess agent behavior, how well it aligns with its intended function, for instance, and whether it avoids actions it's not supposed to take. It then moves to whitebox analysis of the actual agent code, inspecting for risky patterns or insecure logic. Finally, Diamond monitors runtime execution, including low-level signals like system calls to detect behavior such as unauthorized access or data exfiltration. These results are compiled into a quantified trust report based on how well the agent aligns with intended behavior and avoids prohibited actions. These results, importantly, Diamond is also interactive. It doesn't just surface audit results, it works with developers to explain failures, propose mitigation strategies, and help improve agent performance and safety in real time. And more importantly, all of this takes place inside a trusted execution environment, ensuring full confidentiality and integrity of the audit. Confidentiality allows agent code and environment settings to be protected, while integrity allows audits to be certified and verified. Reports are generated securely and returned to the developer end-to-end encrypted. Now, once an audit is complete, Diamond doesn't just generate a report, it also formally certifies an agent by issuing verifiable certificates to agents. It acts as a certificate authority, digitally signing the audit results and issuing or revoking trust certificates based on how well the agent meets key trust dimensions. This allows Diamond to move beyond evaluation into trust enforcement, providing a clear signal that an agent has passed or failed a rigorous standards-based review. We're also integrating Diamond, I'm happy to say, into the Near AI platform, where it will establish a baseline of trust across the ecosystem. Agents that pass the audit receive a verified by Vijil badge, signaling that they are secure, robust, and compliant with platform policies. So all in all, this creates a foundation for developers and users to safely adopt autonomous agents, knowing those agents have been independently audited and certified. So what am I showing you guys today? In today's demo, we're going to interact directly with the Vijil Diamond Auditor agent using a simple chat UI as our interface. So I just want to mention that the chat UI is just for demonstration purposes. In the future, we'll probably have an API to start audits and then just a support agent to deal with developer feedback and understanding the reports and whatnot. But for today, to show you guys how it works, we've employed a simple chat UI. So the first thing to highlight in this diagram is that Diamond runs entirely inside a trusted execution environment powered by Fala, which are some of the presenters later on in this video. So not just the sandbox where the agent code runs, but even the underlying LLMs powering the agent logic, they all execute inside TEEs. That means everything from evaluation to reporting happens in a secure, isolated, and verifiable environment. Today, we'll be auditing an agent deployed on the Near AI platform called the Mindshare agent. So the Mindshare agent, what it does is it monitors token balances in a user's wallet, assesses the mindshare or hype surrounding these tokens, and suggests trades. Furthermore, as a shade agent, it doesn't just suggest the trades, it can actually execute them autonomously, which is the reason why we need to audit this agent and make sure that it does what it's supposed to do and it doesn't do what it's not supposed to do. So for this demo, we've extracted the core decision-making logic of that agent and we'll evaluate how it behaves under audit. So let's just go to step one. In step one, Diamond begins by gathering the necessary context. So it asks the user to provide a public GitHub URL for where the agent lives, and then also a path to the relevant module within the repository on GitHub, and also any environment variables that you need to pass to the agent to make sure that it runs. Now, it also asks you to provide the specific types of tests, which we call harnesses, to apply and to run the audit against. And so we'll get into those supported harness types during the demo. Next, Diamond spins up a new TEE sandbox via the Fala API. So this is a secure, isolated container where the audit will run. The TEE is attested automatically by Diamond, and the attestation evidence can be returned to the user if needed. In the third step, now we're ready to pull in the agent. So we download the agent code from GitHub, load it, and prepare it for testing inside the TEE. So the sandbox TEE does that for us. And in the fourth step, finally, the audit begins. So for this demo, we'll shoot two types of testing. One of them is a static analysis of the code, which we mentioned before. And the second one is a behavioral test of how the agent responds to various scenarios. Just to mention, the dynamic monitoring part is something we're still working on and will be shown in a subsequent release. So finally, in step 5, once the audit is done and we built our trust report, we return the trust report to the chat UI where we can discuss the findings and mitigations with the agent directly